Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys enjoy this video with some more great landscape lighting tips. To learn more about landscape lighting, go and check out our website at lightingdoctor.ca, or if you want to see what a real quality landscape light should look like, go and check out our Try It Before You Buy It offer, where you can get a premium quality fixture at a discounted rate with your very own battery pack, so you can go and test out how that light's going to look and feel what a real premium quality light should look like. So go and check us out at lightingdoctor.ca, or go watch more videos on YouTube just by searching for the Lighting Doctor. Hey, Jordan, thanks for taking the time to send in the pics and the detailed pics. The nighttime pictures definitely help. I'll give you some suggestions, regardless whether you have those lights in here or not, because typically most people don't leave those porch lights on all the time, and you've got a perfect house to, as you said, make things pop. So I'll give you some really good examples and some things that you can do. And really it's gonna be pretty straightforward, and I don't think you have to break the budget, but I would focus mainly on using accent lights. I probably wouldn't do a whole lot of path lighting. Depending on what your budget is, you're gonna get way more bang for your buck with these. But if you wanted to sprinkle some of these in, I'll kind of explain how you can do that pretty cost effectively. And then the only other light that I might add in one or two areas is these guys here, and then some other accessories and stuff. But I'll kind of explain what I would do is I would use those accent lights. So just these guys here, and I would use those to make that front of the house pop here. So where I would put that is I would probably put that right under this window, not too far back. You only want it about 18-24 inches back, but you really just want it shining up so it highlights this area. Then I would have one on the corners of this shutter here, right in the middle, and also on this side, so it does a really nice job of balancing, having some balanced light across this whole front section. And the other thing I would do, no question, I would light these pillars, even with the lights that you have inside there, again, because those are super bright. This is going to be a very low intensity light, and I'll show you some examples of why I like lighting those pillars. But a real good example is like this, and I'm also going to talk to you about the second story lighting a little bit on your property. But especially because you have the nice white house, that's why I don't think you need to use a lot of path lights. Whenever you have a lighter color, you always get a lot of reflective light off of it, so you don't need to add a whole bunch of extra light. But you can see how lighting those pillars really makes them stand out. And the other thing is that light hits the top here, and then it kind of creates like this lit archway that makes the whole porch and entryway really, really inviting. And that's why I love doing that on those archways like that. So I would definitely do that on all four of those. The only thing I would suggest is on the two that you have here, I would put something in there called a hex baffle. So all it is this little honeycomb shaped filter, and what it does is now it just fits underneath the glass here, and it helps deflect the glare. So if you're building a kit, we can always customize one for you, but you do have the option to add a hex baffle to it, and basically it fits underneath the lens here and over top of the bulb, and it just makes sure that as you're walking up and down those stairs that light doesn't kind of peripheral shine in your eye. It just helps deflect that glare. So especially on those two close to the walkway, I would definitely put those up there and light all four of these pillars. It can be fairly close to the house and have them kind of shining straight up, and that's where I think you don't need to add a whole ton more path lights if you do that. But if you were to add some path lights, you just want to sprinkle them in between where you have the accent light. So for example, if you had an accent light here and here, probably only need a path light here, and maybe you might throw one on the corner here. And same thing, you might just throw one here, you might throw one kind of over here, and then you've kind of got this lit here, here, and here. So maybe you throw two kind of in front of the windows, and then another one somewhere over here where you don't have an accent light. But like I said, I don't think you're going to need to, because I think you're really going to be able to make the house pop just from the accent lights. Then the other thing I want to talk about is these second story dormers, or whatever you want to call them, is actually mounting lights up there. And we actually use these gutter mounts that fit right in the gutter. Nice thing is all the connections are waterproof, so you can run everything right in the gutter, right in the eaves trough. You basically just run the wire actually up inside the eaves trough, and then you mount those with the gutter mount and highlight these two second story windows to get that kind of effect. And it's a little bit different scenario on this one. but it kind of shows you how it really makes it stand out as opposed to having a big dark spot. And that's how you really make your house pop when it comes to landscape lighting. Question I get all the time when we do that is, well, is that going to be too bright in the window? And it's not a 100-watt bulb. It's not a really bright bulb. It's a nice ambient light that just helps light up this second tier. So you would mount that here, have it shining kind of at these second peaks, and then you would have a really nice balanced light across the front. The only other thing you may want to do is in this corner here, this is obviously going to become a dark corner. So depending whether you want to keep going with some path lights, a few of those just to balance it out. Something I like doing in an area like this, and another example is just kind of using some of the smaller plants that you have and getting a light behind them and have them shine through. So it kind of creates a shadow on what is kind of a boring wall, but if you were to get a light kind of in front of one of these shrubs, or you have a unique one that you're planting, sometimes we just put like one of those tall grasses, which is really cool because it shines through there, and then that grass that might only be this high, when you get a light shining through it, the shadow on the back is like this high, and it moves in the wind, so you get this really, really cool effect. So I would try and do something like that in this area. If you don't want it to be too bright or too intense, that's where I might use just a wash light, which is very similar to an accent light. It's not as bright. It's a softer light. It's good for a really dark area like that, especially on any kind of low-lying shrub. So I might just add one of those to my shopping cart. And then lastly, I did want to point out something that I think could be really cool, is actually accenting some of these tall giant trees with an accent light, but putting a really high intensity beam in these. So these all come with a standard, what we call a 20-watt equivalent lamp, which is a 4 LED. And we have the option to upgrade those to a brighter 35-watt equivalent or a 50-watt equivalent. On those trees, I would upgrade that to a 50-watt equivalent LED lamp. And what I would do is I would light like this guy, I would probably light this guy, and I would probably try and light these two back here, as well as this guy here, because what's cool now is at night, and I thought I saw a really good picture of it, but at night now, as you're looking at the house and you have the front of the house lit up, then you've got these towering trees in the back. You got maybe 4 or 5 of them that the canopies are lit up, and it's something you really get to enjoy from the front of the house and from the street, and it just makes everything look, I don't know what the word is, not gigantic, but it it makes it pop. Let's leave it at that. So hopefully that gives you some good ideas. If you want me to customize a kit for you, I definitely can. If you want to kind of go play around with those suggestions and put together some lights, you can definitely do that. Just add stuff to your shopping cart and kind of make the adjustments. Something I would probably recommend is if you are going to do something like that, you probably want to start with like a base kit. So if you're going to be buying more than 8 accent lights just to help save you some money, I would probably start with a kit like this. This transformer is plenty big to add on, but this is going to be better value than going and adding individual lights to your shopping cart. But then you get that to start, and then you just go add the extra few that I talked about. So you might add a couple more of these to your shopping cart to get some of those areas. You can go add the you can go add the gutter mounts for those second story ones, and then if you want to put those tall trees in the picture, you can go and add, say 5 of those and just upgrade it to the lamp. But if you need help with that, we do custom kits all the time too, so we can definitely help you with that. And if there's anything else you can think of that I missed, please just fire me an email back. So I'll just share with you guys one little trick, something called a hex baffle. Where we use these is just to deflect the glare off the uplight. So sometimes if you have an uplight like this that's close to an area where people are going to be walking, it's not necessarily going to be pointing in their face or in their eyes or anything, but just to help keep that light a little bit more concentrated when they're looking at it from an angle, we're going to use something called a hex baffle. It basically just slides underneath the cap of your light. It goes over the lens, over the light and under the lens, and snaps back on. And then all that's going to do is just deflect the light that's being maybe portrayed that way. So as somebody looking down, they're not going to see a light shining right up in your eyes. So this is a great little tip to use anytime you have a high traffic area where people might be walking by the light, so they're not shining directly into their eyes. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video presentation with some great tips and tools on how to go and properly and effectively light up your landscape. And be sure, if you want your own free consultation video, just send me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca with a few pictures of your property, and we'll get back to you with some really cool ideas and ways to go and effectively light your property. And be sure to watch the videos after this one for more tips on how to install landscape lighting, as well as how to light up your landscape the best way possible.